All right, guitar friends, we are doing an impromptu practice session right now. Practicing, 1, 2, 3. If you're up for it, grab your guitar. You're gonna watch me stumble. We're gonna play some bad notes together. We're gonna have a good time, have a gas playing along with Guthrie Trapp, this incredible chunk of a solo that he was doing a few months back at the Underdog on his Monday night gig. Tim Marks on the Fender Precision 4-string bass. Jordan Perlson on the drums. Shoot, I got his name wrong. But fantastic band, fantastic playing as always. And my good friend Luke Bowman was kind enough to do this transcription, so I'm going to try to chisel through it. Trust me, even with the map of the board with the notes, it is slow going and no refunds on mistakes. They are free of charge, as we say. So let's get into it. This little progression here is just back and forth between the 5 chord going to the 1 chord. So it starts on the 1 in G, and then that D7, and there's so much opportunity that happens between those 2 chords. So let's check out this at full speed, what Guthrie's doing. I'll definitely be slowing it down. And this, by the way, I'm using Sound Slice to speed up and slow down. If you want to check out this tab and get the link to that, just check out the link in the description. Sign up for that. Shizzle Sticks, how we doing? I'll just be live for about 20 or 30 minutes or so, and then I'll be coming back later for my community members to do our nightly workouts. So, I mean, cooking, absolutely cooking. So just buckle up. And just beautiful, beautiful lines and bends. That kind of stuff I want. Even just a scoop of, right? Like this kind of stuff. So melodic. So kind of timeless sounding. Oof. Love that run right there. Let's listen to the whole thing, and then we'll kind of assess the damage. Yeah. Then this little bit. Oof. These sort of clusters. Jazar, how we doing? Jazar and Shizzle Sticks, both members of the community. Listen to this bit. Ooh, so pretty. Ooh. I've been just trying to work through this a couple bars at a time, as you can imagine. Chad, how we doing? So we're not going to get all the way through it, but we're going to take a bite out of it. And this might be a reoccurring series of, just practice along with me. And I'm going to go at whatever pace I can go. So I might not be stopping and breaking down every little bit. I'll try to explain some things, some concepts that you might like. Howdy, dreamer, how we doing? But for the most part, just know that my process could be your process too, your recipe, and just work at your speed. So bits of this I've worked out, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't forget it. How many of you guys have ever worked out a solo or something, and then you're just like, oh, it's gone? So kind of from the top, you may have heard me doing some YouTube shorts where I'm sort of doing bits of these licks here. So I can kind of talk about that, and then after that, I'll just sort of maybe be sort of in the non-verbal, getting my butt kicked, kind of trying to figure out what's going on there. So this opening lick here, was it? And that's all kind of like based around this D area. So this is really cool setup, hybrid picking. And then these double stops, these sort of chime fills, as I call them. And as much as that seems like a real quick flurry, which there's a lot of that, get used to that. Actually, I'll leave those up. What's going on there, if you look up above the 12th fret, that's exactly what this is. Just coming straight out of the G major pentatonic scale. So he does the setup on the D. And then that downbeat is where the G is, and that's just the top part of the third. Wow, I'm out of tune. But that's just sort of like a major third sitting right up there, coming out of the chord tones from a G major, and that's the chord, so that makes sense right there. But these beautiful sort of like pedal steel style, really country classic hammer-ons are just so beautiful, you know. So there's that boom, boom. And I know the tab's too small to read. Don't worry about that. I'll sort of jump back and forth. So those pieces, those destinations right there is up there. G right there. This is coming right out of that triad there. We work on triads a lot, so at slow speed, you can really use these. I'll do a little bit of that like here. I'll start and stop my backing track and jump in there with that one. So this. I love some of these sort of half step bends. They're very sort of like Django Reinhardt. And then this bend is crazy. As I'll get over here, I'll sort of highlight the actual, get a little bit closer so you can see. So this is going to be right here as I highlight down, whoa, down that stretch of it. It's going to be, and I do love, I'm still trying to get better at using sound slice, but it's really useful. So if you look at that on this cam, what that really is like, imagine a D7 right there. And that sort of goes off the map there. But if that was sort of like the notes you would have for like a regular D triad, then you make it a D7. Now imagine you just grab this note right here and bend. It makes so those are the notes you're playing, but it's going to be like, and it's real, it's all these bends are so much about finesse of just like, which the intonation is something I'm obviously trying to dial in, but there he is at full speed. Check this out. And the real essence of that I'm trying to get is that where it really kind of like swoops into it, right? I'm going to take some of that drive off because I don't need that much drive. I got to be sort of bearing my soul and playing it clean, right? And then this bend's crazy. I'll skip ahead to this. Turn off the loop mode. So that's. I don't even know necessarily how to explain this one. I guess it's like, so we've got basically like a D. That'd be if I was fretting it instead of bending it. And then we got this. And that creates another D7. That actually sort of makes sense. So we've got this like, and then, so basically just two spots of this really nice stretched out version of a D7. Yeah, intonation's off. And then resolving down to that third of G. That's where he's going to head next. I'm going to slow him down. You got to slow him down. It's like Bruce Lee. He goes too fast for the film. So my apologies if I'm making Guthrie feel like I'm putting the brakes on him. But I'm going to slow him down to 70, and we'll go back to the top and sort of piece by piece do a bit of this. So here comes that bend. Now we're into this stretch here, right? So we got this, I'll try with my backing track. now we're going into this passage here. I got to remind myself how this goes. So let's let the man play it here at full speed. And what is kind of cool, what you can take away from this, for whatever it's worth, is that just the power of like two really tasteful chords and working these different licks that you can play over a regular major chord. So like when you get to that G, you can emphasize the sort of G major 7 and all these beautiful things. And some of these are honestly, I imagine, just sort of like jazzy kind of like tricks and licks where he gets into some of this. Honestly, the beauty of guitar is that sometimes someone will just show you something. It's like, oh yeah, I'll use that on this song. And but basically the language of having this full major scale is this is a case where the pentatonic on its own won't get you the full fruit of what you can bring out of this chord. And then when we get to this 5, this is just, he's just so good at playing over the dominant 7 style chords. So that's a lot of what the vocabulary is that I'm trying to grab from this song for a situation like this, because it's a great feeling sort of vamp, but also just in general playing over like long stretches of a dominant chord is what I'm trying to grab. So check out this sequence here. Right about here as we sort of check this. How are we doing, Tim Taylor? So this is one lick. I'm going to get a breather there again. I'd sort of try to take it one, like whatever, be like a 4-bar phrase of going G to D and then back to G to just get my breath and actually decipher some of this stuff. So at a slow speed, I guess what I got there is the, what is this? And then this. What was it? So over here, I'll just sort of erase that, but it's like this, just sort of get a gander, this style of lick. This is sort of new for me, but like a cascading lick. So each open string is lower than the last one. So it's first string, third string fretted, second one's open. And that's just this great sort of like, creates sort of like a D9. So a diagonal pentatonic there. There's a D. 6 right there. And then this beautiful sequence down here is. Resolving again there to that G triad. So if you're like me, sometimes things will fly by and like, I think I got one of those things. I think I recognize that. There's my buddy, the G triad. That's fine. That's plenty on days where it's like, you know, a flood season. Let's try to zero in on that lick right about here. Back to that lick. So this is, love that. So in essence, you can kind of see that in slow motion. This is just like this sort of G major pentatonic, right? Again, diagonal pentatonic, there's G. So if any of you are hearing me go on and on about diagonal pentatonic, especially my members in our workouts, it's like, here it is out in the wild, and it creates a very beautiful kind of like lyrical sound, meaning pentatonic when played just in the box will sound sort of more, you know, it can sound good too, but it's like, it's a really great sort of descending thing. It's just sort of that like opening Allman Brothers lick, that type of thing, but. And then, let's see, where are we? I'm trying to sort of switch to this more often so you can kind of see. And again, if you want this tab, especially my members, I think I dropped this into our bonus lessons area. If not, just hit the link in the description. That's guitarfriendtim.com/downloads, and it'll get you access to that. Even if you're on the mailing list, it won't send you to emails. Don't worry about it. It'll just make sure that you can access that link. Let me try to sort of spell that out on my track a little bit slower. I'm going to try to switch here so you can kind of see. Boom, boom. All right, let's try it again. Sort of biff that. So usually what I'll try to do is that if I play it clean, I'll try to repeat the lick and the phrase just so I can more and more comfortably just sort of play it. So I'll hit the little loop button again. Gets into that, and part of what you'll see for my recipe, what I like is learning and then forgetting at the same time, like learning a bit, Ozzy, how we doing, of a piece, and then playing it until I feel like I don't have to look at the tab. That's a big thing. Tab is great. Make sure you take your eyes off the tab as soon as possible, especially a tab that's done this well. Again, Luke Bowman, if you have anything that you need tabbed out, I think just at Luke Bowman on Instagram, check him out. I'll try to make sure I drop that into the description. Really nice guy, really great at this. And so he'll grab live clips and stuff like that, and he'll transcribe it. And he's got a great collection of ones. And you can also hire him to do it. I highly recommend him. And that's a great way to think of just like the era we live in. You can see a clip of someone, and then you can reach out to someone else and they can transcribe it for you. And then when you sit and slow it down and learn it with all these beautiful kind of like interfaces we have to do that, they didn't have back in my day. But if you can do that and then absorb it and kind of like, I'm never going to play exactly like Guthrie. My goal would not be to try to nail this exactly note for note, maybe once or twice, just to sort of like accomplish that mission. But I'm mainly looking for these nuggets where I can find a lasting lick or an idea that I sort of almost misremember on purpose. So like this lick right here has really made an impact on me. Partly because I can kind of understand where it's coming from. That's like such a great way to get a dominant 7 sound. And I might do that on any chord now. I could do the like an A, or like it's a movable idea that I got from this, and I love that because he probably got licks like this from people he was working with or songs he was learning, and that I think really is the tradition. So use tabs for that. Use them to get laser focused on something and then just turn it into your vocabulary is all I can say. All right, I'm stalling. I got to try to figure out this lick. Let me jam over this one more time. And then this lick. Totally biff that, but something to that effect. And then I actually got to leave in a bit. So this is just a quick dip in. I'm going to hopefully do more of these, just sort of random practice along with me type of streams. and we'll stay on some topics. I'm mainly just trying to get better. So I got my chops together for the big Guitar Dreams retreat in Scotland. So if you haven't heard about that, I'll add that link to the description as well. Guthrie's going to be there. I'm going to be there helping to host the live streams and interview some of the incredible luminaries, including Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, Guthrie Trapp, Robbie McIntosh, Mary Spender. It's going to be a blast. So I'm trying to get my game together, and you can imagine why. Let's check this out a little bit more, and then I got to skedaddle, have some ramen, then come back after dinner and kick it with y'all for the GWOD, the guitar workout of the day. So he goes back to that lick. So my best sort of approximation of that sort of phrasing. What was it? Oh yeah. And that is on the tab, on the close-up there. It's right here. It's this stretch right here. It's like... So it's kind of spelling out on that D7. And that's like a D. See how that's a D triad? Same thing is right there. And that's just going straight from a D triad into G major pentatonic, right? Really fast though, right? And so much character to the articulation. Like, I'm just sort of hearing that sort of release there. That type of thing, right? Love it. Oof. Oof. Does this like how's he start this? So it's like just so beautiful there. Again, just coming back and resolving to that G. Now this part is really cool here. Does this one? And then it goes into this really kind of classic sounding. And check this out. It does this. If you ever want motivation to try to get that sort of stretch of the pinky going, or the hand position at reach, there it is. Almost sounds like sort of like Casablanca or something, like as time goes by, or it just sounds like a really cool like piano chord type of voicing. So I'll try that over my lick. It's just so fun to like, even just like you kind of, even when you're missing it, you're getting that rhythm, which is or that flavor, which is so cool. So just going into the noodle and allowing it to get into the noodle and enjoying. Maybe one thing that might help you is that, again, I'm trying to scramble the pieces around and see if I can call on some of the vocabulary. But what would be important, and what I would hope that maybe if there's anything of value that you could grab from this, would be notice where you are in the chord changes, because mainly what I'm trying to do as it goes, like you'll hear me sort of play a bad note, or I'll hesitate, or both. And then in my head, I'm thinking, okay, which chord am I on, and what's one of the recent licks that I've been using that would work on that, because they're not exact, like they're very custom fit to work over the D7 or work over the G. So when I think, okay, I'm over the D7, that's where you might see me go for that type of lick, or this, like, or then when I'm on that G, I might go, and then just rearranging the order. So, hey, Jeff, yeah, I'm just about to sign off now. I'm going to go have some dinner and then come back and do the GWAD. But this is me trying to stay accountable and get my butt in gear and play some more guitar out in the wild. So be ready for these impromptu ones and things like it. And I hope y'all are doing well. And I'll probably see you later. All right? All righty. Then there's the D. So on and so forth. See you, gang. See you, gang. See you, gang.